Hi, I'm Daniel,
Messy.
and this is Faux Pas Art Class.
Okay guys, we picked out our colors. Now, our first step is we need Floetrol. Now, the important thing when we use our Floetrol, you want to use a screen or something like that, because you get lumps in there. I don't know if you've ever used Floetrol in real life. It's a great paint additive, you know, it helps it go smoother, binds your colors together a little better, but you sometimes get lumps which will really mess with your painting the way it looks. So,
Yeah, see.
well, that one's not too bad. No lumps there, but that gives us about the amount of orange we're going to need. Then we're going to come over here for candy apple red, which I keep on hand, so we're going to mix a little bit more. Okay, Melissa, if you would go in there and turn this upside down in the sink and rinse it out. We'll start with orange. What we got here is Acrylic Essentials, just straight up orange. And you see how much Floetrol we've got there. Now the thing I want you to look at, when you look here and you look at the consistency of your Floetrol when you bring it up on the stick, that's the consistency you're going to want your paint to be. So what we're going to do is we're going to add this to it. It's going to thicken it up some, and we're just going to keep mixing until we get back to that consistency. We'll add a little bit of distilled water if we need to. But let's start off with the orange, and we want on this particular brand to be about 50-50, and I think that should be about right. So at this point, what you're going to do is you're going to take and just stir away. And when you think you've stirred enough, stir some more. Now Melissa, you're using the Apple Barrel Candy Apple Red, one of my favorite colors. Now on the Apple Barrel, we also do that about 50-50. So we're pretty much going to use this whole thing. So we're going to take a stick, and Melissa, you get to start mixing and try not to slosh it on the floor, because Lord knows I keep this thing spotless. I know you see that. So mix away and keep mixing.
That's gorgeous.
Now one of the things I want to show you on this, Melissa, if you look, you see how here you got those Floetrol streaks? So every now and then you want to take and just kind of work that side to bring all that down.
Okay.
And then keep right on going. All right, Melissa, you're looking pretty good. Here, just put your cup right here and let's take a look at it. Now, the first check I do is I look and say, okay, that's not quite the flow that you had of the straight Floetrol. And plus, if you put your stick in there,
Okay.
that's not a good thing. It goes a little bit. So our solution is, I have here distilled water. And we're going to take some of that distilled water, and I'm going to say about that much. Now, when you're mixing this, be a little more careful, because this will slosh, especially there at the top where the water's in, so kind of work it in slow and gradual like that.
Okay.
Daniel, let's see what yours is like. Woo! Looks like that can stand at attention, don't it?
Yes, sir.
All right, let's do the same thing with yours, about that much water, and have at it. All right, let's take a look, Melissa. Okay. Look at that consistency. That looks good. That looks good. And if we put it in there, yeah. You don't want it to go over too quick, because then your paint's way too thin. That looks just about perfect. So are we going to do our flips one at a time or simultaneously? I'm good with however you want to do it.
Let's go simultaneously. That way,
All right.
we got a big show.
Works for me.
Wait, and that's two. Oh, leftovers, so like-
Okay, Daniel, let's take a look at your orange here. If we look at the consistency, that's pretty good, but it feels like, yeah, we got to get a little thinner.
Still too big.
So, hit her again.
Yes, sir.
Okay, Dan, your orange is looking good. And it comes over just ever so slowly, which is just what we want. So we've got our orange here. Melissa, you were using the candy apple red. You're both going to use yellow, right? Let's see. So you're each going to get a cup. Now, our colors that we're going to put in the cup, and we're going to use silicone in both of them. Now, there's two ways that I do the silicone. One is to put a couple of colors in and then put a drop of silicone in the other colors. The other way is to kind of coat your cup with it first, where you put like a drop or two in there and then roll it around and swirl it around, and then it kind of distributes through the colors as you put it in. So we can go either way that you want. What are you feeling?
I like the second idea.
Okay.
Put it in there first.
And I think I've got it open now. The thing you want to remember, you don't want a lot. If you get a lot, you're just going to have nothing but little bitty tiny spots all over your canvas. So, like I said, just a drop. In this case, maybe two for this process. How many did you get there?
Like 3 or 4.
Okay. Just roll it around all over.
Yeah, just kind of want to swirl it around. Hold your cup sideways and roll. Okay, so Melissa, what colors were you using again?
Red, yellow, black, and gold.
Okay, so I'm going to have you layer your cup first. Now, I always like to put the lightest color on the top. Generally, the lightest color is the heaviest, so it will sink down through. You know, that's not always the case, but in most cases, like white is actually the heaviest color. It will fall down through the others. So you want it on top because that gets you that action. In this case, you can go with either yellow or gold for the top. And just make sure you don't put too much. Now be careful, that lid has popped off on me about 3 times doing painting, so that's plenty. Okay, now when you put the black in, remember, black can very easily overtake a canvas, so don't use too much. And what you want to do when you put it in, you want it to hit the side because it pulls down some of that silicone that you've been swirling around in there. And there you go. That's good. That's good. Now, you want to follow that with red and do kind of the same thing. Let it hit the side. And you need more than that. Okay. And then yellow. Now, you can do two things with the yellow. You can try to get it all on the top like that, or you can aim at the middle and kind of squirt it down in it where it mixes it through all of it. There you go. That's good. And see, that gets you your little boil action going there. Okay, that looks good. Okay, Daniel. So you're going to start with the light color.
I think.
Okay. You're going to follow that with the orange. Okay, excellent. I like it. Now you want the blue or the black? Oh, good choice. And remember, like I said, always remember, a little black goes a long way. There we go. So you satisfied with your cups? Man, look at that. I'm going to bring this up here, show a little closer look. Look at the top of that cup. Okay.
There you go.
Okay, we're looking good here. I think we are ready to flip the cups, guys. So let's put them on there and see what we do. Excellent, excellent. Okay. Now I'm going to move you up to here so we're both in good position on the camera. Now, when you flip your cup, you got a couple options. One is just pull your cup straight up and let the paint just spread out and do its own thing. Another thing you can do is you can tilt your canvas up, let a little bit out, put it down, and kind of swirl it around and then put some out the other way. Or you can just turn it sideways and let it cut. So those are the different things. So just pick which one you want to do and have fun doing it.
You ready? Let's do it.
Oh, those look good. I would put that cup down right here and just leave it on the canvas and hold it down with my thumb as I move that around. And then what's going to happen is it's going to give you a funny looking little circle right there as that paint trickles down.
Oh, that's awesome, dude.
Now the thing you want to be careful of is real easy to take all your designs over the edge if you aren't careful.
Yeah, I see that feeling.
One of the things I like to do is get it close to the edge and then fill in after I'm done. Those both are looking fantastic. Okay, fill in with some black along this edge. And what will happen is gravity will kind of force that down into it. And that just kind of fill it up because you want it to go all the way to the edge and over. And that lubricates the paint and allows it to go down. So if I do that, or you can just let it sit and your corners will be black. So that's, you know, that's up to you. That's the way I would handle it. But your design is looking amazing.
Thank you.
I have a torch ready.
In just a second. Okay, you don't want to overdo it too much there, Missy. Because you got to remember the design you have
It's like
now
muddy, and it's all
is going to
blended.
change as it dries because some of the colors are going to sink in. And like you don't have to make it all the way to the end because it's going to, gravity is going to pull it out. And then you're going to want to take, if you come at the edge and just take your finger and do this, that's going to help grab that paint and pull it over the side.
That was badass, dude.
Yeah, you got quite a bit of bare canvas over here. Okay, Melissa, you want a torch? All right. You know how to start it? You need me to.
Do you need to?
All right, your torch is going. Just remember, don't hold it down very long in one spot or you will burn the paints. And Danny, I think I would be ready to lift that cup anytime you're ready. Because I think it's going to make a cool design right there. Yes. And now gravity is going to let that just kind of fill itself in. But I would take some of the black paint on this corner. Now you've got enough on the tiller where you can just pick it up with your finger like that and tap it in. I think yours is going to dry awesomely. That you got like subtle color differences that I think are going to be amazing.
Ooh.
Okay, let's see here.
Ooh.
Nice. Great colors.
Now the other thing I would do, Danny, is if you look right here, see where it's not quite touching. If you take a stick, you just kind of touch it like that. That kind of breaks that resistance of the paint and allows it to fill itself in.
Yeah, I see what you're saying. As soon as the paint connects to itself.
Yeah, it pulls it on over the edge. That's why you always want to make sure your canvas is level. Otherwise, it will pull all your paint off.
Gorgeous.
But, you know, it's hard to beat gravity.
Nice.
Okay, now if you look over here on this edge, you'll see the spots that you missed. If you just, you know, dip your into the black and kind of fill that in. And it's always the most notorious on the corners that you want to come back and touch it up.
Yeah, I saw you touching up the corners on every video.
Yeah, because that's it. It's the hardest part for it to stick. So yeah, the corners. Now, if you don't mind, I want to slide this back just a hair. Now, do you want to torch yours? Now, if you
I don't
do,
think it needs it.
I don't think it does,
I don't think
but
it
it's
does
up to
at all.
you because see how your cells are forming naturally. I mean,
I don't even think it needs anything.
if you hit it with a torch, you're going to get a lot of smaller cells that maybe you didn't intention, but it seems to be very much from just the amount of silicone in there and the paints. I love what it's doing. Well, knowing me, I probably would torch it and then wish that I hadn't. I think I would leave it as is, but that's
I
up to
think it's
you.
gorgeous.
Yeah, I mean, that's the first try. I think that's what I want it to be.
I think it's amazing.
Thanks for joining us today at Faux Art. I had so much fun. It was an absolute blast making this painting. Like this is an art technique that everybody's got to try sometime in their life.
Bye, guys.